He made children laugh, performed as a clown during celebrations. But no one knew that behind those smiles, evil was hiding. He lured his victims by promising them jobs, brought them home, handcuffed them, and carried out his horrifying plans. Some were kept in the living room, others in the dark void beneath the floorboards. Teenagers, buried deep and forgotten. This man was no ordinary criminal. He was John Wayne Gacy, one of the most terrifying serial killers in history. At least 33 boys and young men lost their lives at his hands. At once, he was a clown, a builder, and a monster. His house, not a place of joy, but a graveyard. In this video, you'll uncover Gacy's dark life, his horrific murders, and why this clown still haunts people's dreams. So activate the cosmic mode in your mind, because nothing in the universe should interrupt you while watching this. This clown's name was John Wayne Gacy. He was born on March 17, 1942, in Chicago, Illinois. Gacy was the second of 3 children and the only son. His father's name was John Stanley Gacy, and his mother was Marion Elaine Robinson. His father was a World War I veteran, plagued by alcoholism. He often verbally abused young John and was physically violent toward him. This abuse, continuing through childhood and adolescence, deeply scarred Gacy's psyche. His father constantly compared him to his sisters, always belittling him. One of the earliest and most unforgettable events occurred when Gacy was just 4 years old. He accidentally mixed up parts of a car engine, and his father beat him severely. This would be one of Gacy's earliest childhood memories, and perhaps the first ingredient in the serial killer recipe. In contrast, Gacy's mother tried to protect her son. But this duality in parental roles had a strong impact on his emotional development and future relationships. Gacy also struggled with physical health. He had heart issues and was frequently hospitalized. Instead of offering help, his father accused him of faking illness to get sympathy. This only worsened their already broken relationship. Between ages 14 and 18, Gacy's health problems intensified. He had multiple unexplained blackouts, even a ruptured appendix. These long-term illnesses impacted his education and social development. On top of it all, at age 17, Gacy suffered a major trauma. He was sexually assaulted by a relative. He never told anyone. For a 17-year-old boy, that kind of secret is crushing. All of this, illness, abuse, trauma, formed a ticking time bomb. Despite this, Gacy remained close to his mother and sisters, Karen and Joanne. They tried to give him some emotional support, but the damage had been done. In 1960, at 18, Gacy entered the world of politics. He became an assistant precinct captain for the local Democratic Party, but even that didn't impress his father, who called him a puppet. Gacy couldn't take the criticism anymore. He moved to Las Vegas in 1962. There, he first worked as an ambulance attendant, then in a morgue. And it was in that morgue where something disturbing happened. He came into contact with the corpse of a teenage boy. Instead of horror, Gacy felt fascination. He embraced the body, touched it, and felt a twisted sense of pleasure. That may have been the moment when true evil awoke inside him. Later, he returned to Chicago and appeared to be a changed man. Despite not finishing high school, he enrolled in Northwestern Business College and graduated in 1963. He then joined the Nunn Bush Shoe Company, where he excelled. From the outside, he looked like a responsible, talented young man. Between 1964 and 1968, major changes happened in his life. He got married, had children, climbed the corporate ladder, eventually becoming a vice president. In fact, he was even named one of Illinois' top 3 men. But in 1968, the mask came off. Gacy was arrested for sexually assaulting 18-year-old Donald Voorhees. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison, but served only 18 months for good behavior. That decision would have devastating consequences. While behind bars, his wife divorced him and cut all ties. Gacy never saw his children again, which may have saved their lives. He never fully reformed in prison. In fact, he attempted to hire a hitman to kill Donald Voorhees, the same boy he had abused. Luckily, that plan failed. After his early release, he returned to Chicago and lived with his mother. He started his own construction company, PDM Contractors, in 1971. The business quickly grew. In 1972, Gacy bought a house in Des Plaines, the one that would later become infamous. He remarried, this time to a divorced woman with 2 children. He re-entered society, volunteered in politics, hosted summer parties, and performed as a clown named Pogo. Yes, a clown. The smiling, painted face masked a murderer. And then, in 1972, he snapped. His first victim, 16-year-old Timothy McCoy. Gacy claimed McCoy threatened him with a knife in the morning, so he killed him in self-defense. Whether that's true or not, it marked the start of his serial killing spree. In 1974, another unidentified teenage boy, strangled, body hidden in the crawl space beneath the floorboards. That space would eventually hide over 20 corpses. In 1975, John Butkovich, 18, an employee who argued with Gacy over unpaid wages. Later, Gacy lured him into the car and killed him, then buried him under the garage. But police did not investigate seriously, even when John's family named Gacy as a suspect. By 1976, the killings increased. Darrell Sampson, 18, lured with a construction job offer. His body found under the kitchen floor. Then came Randall Reffett, 15, stabbed. And Samuel Stapleton, 14, disappeared while heading home before curfew, both found under the house. How could a man with a family commit such horrors under their very roof? It turns out Gacy often sent his family away during murders, on vacations, for example. And the smell? He blamed it on old pipes, moldy floorboards, even plumbing issues. He sprayed chemicals over the corpses to suppress the odor. The crawl space eventually became a mass grave. Through his construction company, Gacy found more victims. He lured them with promises of work, then followed the same script: alcohol, drugs, handcuffs, murder. By 1978, he had killed at least 33 boys and young men, most by strangulation or stabbing. I can't describe all of them here. The video would become too long and too heavy. But if you want more, I've included additional details on my Telegram channel, especially about victims he killed using even darker methods. Then came December 11th, 1978, his final victim, 15-year-old Robert Piest. Robert worked at a pharmacy. Gacy offered him a job. He told someone, "I'll be right back." He never returned. This time, police took the case seriously. Robert's family directly named Gacy. Police began surveillance, and Gacy began acting erratically. Then, on December 23rd, 1978, the investigation reached a turning point. Gacy confessed to killing at least 30 people. Even veteran detectives were in shock. Everyone thought Gacy was a good guy, friendly, hardworking, respected. No one suspected a monster lived among them. On December 22nd, police began digging under Gacy's house. Over the next week, dozens of decomposed bodies were unearthed. The experience traumatized, even hardened officers. In total, 33 victims. 28 identified, 5 still unknown. Gacy didn't just kill them, he buried them beneath him, took pleasure in having control over their remains. This is true sickness. On March 13th, 1980, Gacy was found guilty on all counts and sentenced to death. He spent 14 years on death row, giving interviews and later denying his guilt, even though he had confessed earlier. On May 10th, 1994, Gacy was executed by lethal injection, but the procedure was botched. The first dose was incorrect, making his death painful and slow. He never showed remorse.